Hey there, it's ShoelessRob with another build for Gemma Frostfire. This time we're going to do a chromatic conversion cyclone with some elemental damage and whirlwind and a bunch of block chance and AoE area of effect damage and area of effect range on there as well. So first we'll get into a little bit of gameplay and show you what can be done with it. And this is on time mark tier 5 in the Thunder Wastes, and as soon as we start it ramps up. So it takes a kill or two to ramp up, and then you're doing full screen whirlwinds, kind of obliterating everything to the edge of your screen. And nothing should even really get that close to you, but if it does, then your regular attacks will take care of it. And as you can see, we've got pretty much steep strikes going the whole time, so that we don't have to worry about things getting close to us. We've got steep strike on all the time. Now here's the boss, and we're going to turn on some of our add-ons and get some extra damage there, and we just melt it down. And then I'll go ahead and summon all the purple diamonds at once, all of our overload diamonds, just to see how far we can push this block. Okay, so that's 5 overload diamonds. And they're gone. So it deals some pretty good damage output, and as you can see, they couldn't touch us the whole time that I was running around summoning those diamonds due to the block. So now let's get into how it's done, and we'll start out with some equipment because there is some needed equipment for this build. And we'll start with the swords, which we are going to need. It's a legendary regret, and it comes with a block chance. So it comes with a 7% attack block chance, and then also it comes with a 15% spell block chance and regular block chance, which is going to be important when we get to our Ronin tree. So that's important, and we're dual wielding it, so we get that ×2. And it's also got some good energy and some good damage bonuses to it. We're using a glacial ring to get a 50% conversion to ice damage. So we're getting that elemental conversion, and that way we can double dip on the elemental bonuses. And then I'm using a fire gauntlet that gives a 36% conversion to fire, but you can use any other item that you want, including another glacial ring, or really anything you want that's going to convert you to at least 80% total damage ice and fire. That's what matters. And then I'm using Sunset Ripple to give us some AoE damage and some AoE range, as well as some other nice bonuses. But the main things we wanted, that AoE damage and range on there. And lastly, we're using the Sky Armor for AoE damage and range as well. Now, the last two items are not absolutely necessary, but the Glacial Ring, the Fire Conversion, and the Blocking Swords are a must. We'll get to that in the talent trees. So now we'll take a look at some of the stats, and we could do a little better on resistances. So I'll be looking to up those as I get some more gear, and we could do a little better on life, so I'll be looking to up that as I go up in level and gear as well. So now we'll take a look at the offensive stats, and we can see down here that we've got a conversion of 36% fire and 50% ice, so that's converting everything to our elemental damages down there. And we don't have the highest critical chance showing here, but that's deceptive because we're going to use Fervor on our attacks, and that's going to give us up to a 300% bonus the way that we have it set up once we get Fervor set up the right way with our Ronin tree. And then life could be a little better, but we want to look at that block chance. So right now we can see that we've got a huge block chance and a huge block damage mitigation on there to help us out. So getting into skills, we've got Whirlwind, which has some pretty standard add-ons. You know, it's a standard Whirlwind. We all know it. We all love it. And we want that critical damage because we're going to be critting like crazy. So we've got the critical damage add-on. We've also got our precise strike, as well as the critical damage. That's going to boost up our damage a good chunk as well. Never mind that it lowers the AoE. We have so much stuff boosting it, it's not going to matter. And then we have our raging on there as well to boost up the damage, so that's going to help as well. We have our guard on there, which is going to not only boost our damage but give us a little bit of barrier, which is just a little bit of extra relief and survivability. And here comes something very important to the build, which is channel preparation. Even though it lowers your damage and you're thinking, oh no, we're going to lose damage, you're not, because this channel preparation is going to add on to your minimum stack. So you're going to start now at not 1 stack, but 2 stacks every time. And that'll become important in a minute. And then we've got our standard potion on there with a little bit of damage resist. Now this Bloodlust is going to increase your speed. And so that's important. We put on there the other blood skill, which is going to give it more effect as well. And we've got on there the extended duration to make it last. And we've got on there Soul Focus, which also helps it to last the more you kill. So that's going to help that to last and just kind of give us a general boost. We've got Bull's Rush, which gives us a huge boost when we need it. It does take a chunk of 30% life, but that'll be fine because we heal on block. We'll see that in the Ronin tree. And again, we've got Soul Focus to extend the duration and extended duration, as well as cooldown reduction, so we can cast that as often as we need to against the bosses mainly. And then we've got on there our marking skill, and that is going to mark the enemy and give us a chance to do double damage to them. I've got on there increasing the effect with our blood skill and Soul Focus to increase the duration. We've got on there our physical damage booster. It's going to take 50% of our mana, but it's going to give us a huge boost to our criticals and to our AoE skill area. I mean, it's just perfectly built for this build. Now we're going to go on to our on-hit skill. When we take damage, we're going to pop Stone Skin with an extended duration and a low cooldown. So every 500 damage, we'll be popping Stone Skin. We'll keep that Stone Skin on a good 75-80% of the time with that. Now this is super important, and that's going to be to cast while channeling a Blizzard. And the reason we're going to cast while channeling a Blizzard is because we don't have an elemental skill. And as Gemma, we need to be casting an elemental skill to get her focus meter up, to get her little fusion meter up that goes with her class abilities, our Frostfire abilities. So if we're not casting something elemental all the time, we'll never get that fusion bar up, and Whirlwind doesn't count. So we need that to be going off all the time. And plus it'll give a nice little debuff to them for cold damage. So hey, you know, an added little bonus in there too. But the main reason is just to get that fusion bar up. Now we can move on to the talent trees and see what we're going to pick as far as getting those blocks and the damage up for our little nodes and then our special abilities on our big nodes. So on the God of War, we're going to go with a mixture. Pick every life node that you can. You want to get as much life as you can so you don't get one shot. And then we've got some damage. We've got some critical strike. You know, your basic stuff, nothing fancy. But we did take the block chance on this tree. That's important. Along with your block chance, you get a 20% chance to heal 20% when you go up that block tree. So you can see here we get that 20% chance to heal 20% on a block. That's really important for us. Also going to be getting our attack speed up, which is going to help out. So you always want to go for attack speed when you can. That's going to be great, and that comes with critical strike damage. Now for our nodes we have on here, and for our major nodes, we're going to go ahead and pick Determined, which is going to give us basically a rebirth at 1 second of invulnerability. So that's going to give us a bunch of survivability. And we're going to pick Fervor, which is going to give us Fervor and a 30% added effect to Fervor as well. And we're going to go in the Ronin tree. We're going to go for a lot of block. We're going to get some life, and we're going to get block, and we're gonna get spell block, and we're gonna get some life, which is going to lead to getting a 20% chance of healing, or a 20% life heal every time you block. And then we're going to get 9% fervor effect. And then we're going to get some damage and speed. You can't go wrong with those criticals. And then we're going to get another 9% fervor rating over here with our others. So that brings us to a high fervor rating. Now for our major nodes, we're going to pick Sprinkle, which is going to give us an AoE radius as well as a damage boost, and if you're too squishy, you can pick one of the other two. And then for our Spirit Crafter tree, we're going to head to a Spellcaster tree, and we're going to pick up damage all over the place. So we're going to pick up damage, some life, damage, just damage everywhere. Damage as much as you can. If you want to throw in some critical and attack speed, that's what I'll be going for next. But this is your damage tree. And when you click on elemental damages, you'll be double dipping. Now this is huge because it's going to bypass their resistance for all critical strikes, which you're going to be critting all the time. And Rite of Eno is super important because you'll be getting 2 more initial stacks, bringing you to a total of 4 to start. So you'll be flipping between 4 and 5, 4 and 5, 4 and 5 to start your whirlwind, doing the steep strike. And on my pets, on my pack spirits, I just got a bunch of damage over here on the right. I got a bunch of mana regen with a little bit of critical damage on the left, and a little bit of drop rarity there on the bottom. So nothing too fancy there, just a lot of raw damage pretty much is what I got. Make sure to use your pack spirits. They give you extra pack points down there. And lastly, we'll take a look at our hero traits. We want to go ahead and go with the first hero trait on the top, or on the, I went with the one on the bottom because it allows you to deal more damage to frozen enemies and freeze them more often and ignite them and get some health back for killing frozen enemies. It's good stuff. And then on the level 61, I went with the one that just gives you extra stats and puts you into your fusion mode automatically as well. And then at level 80, who knows what I'll do. So there you have it, a chromatic cyclone conversion build with block. You can reach out to me at ShoelessRob, #8331 with a capital S and R. Follow my YouTube channel, And happy hunting, guys. Peace out.